Hello everybody, welcome to That's Football. Some huge news around the Liverpool manager situation. Xavi Alonso confirmed will not be leaving Leverkusen to join Liverpool or Bayern Munich. It was rumoured last night. It's been confirmed by very good sources this morning. In fact, Fabrizio Romano has literally just tweeted that breaking Xavi Alonso will stay at Leverkusen with announcement to follow in the public. Liverpool and Bayern both informed of Xavi Alonso's decision. He has a release clause in 2025, which will be active. And it poses a number of questions. You know, I remember doing a video probably a month or two ago saying that when Klopp left, I'd be stunned if it wasn't Xavi Alonso coming in, because the way Liverpool work is that Jurgen Klopp would have told Liverpool he was going in December, maybe even November, and Liverpool had that breathing space before it came out in January. And what Liverpool, I would expect them to do in that time, is to have it locked down who their next manager is going to be. And I presumed it would be Xavi Alonso. But obviously that's not happened, certainly not around Alonso. So it feels like Liverpool don't actually know who their new manager is going to be, which, when you look at it, and I'd be interested in what people say in the comments, I didn't expect that. I thought that, you know, Klopp certainly would give Liverpool time before it was public to go and get the man they want. And obviously doesn't look like that has happened. So it means that the plans in place for the summer for Liverpool and beyond are not as well thought out as many maybe thought. Because if you don't know who your manager is going into April, then what are your targets for the summer? You know, who's going to leave, this, that and the other. It makes it a more precarious situation, which it was always going to be. You know, Jurgen Klopp leaving Liverpool, it's not quite Sir Alex Ferguson leaving Manchester United, but it's pretty big. And it's going to be disruptive. And maybe this will lead to a number of Liverpool players leaving. But where are Liverpool going to go next? Should they be disappointed about Alonso? Well, look, I think it was the most logical place to go. Ex-Liverpool player doing fantastically well at Leverkusen. The hint was there because Bayern Munich had said already that they didn't think they could get him out of Leverkusen, and they were going to have to look elsewhere. The interesting thing is that Real Madrid will probably part way with Ancelotti in a year's time, and Alonso, if he has a good year, probably goes to Real Madrid, so he probably never goes to Liverpool. And look, speaking to a few Liverpool fans over recent weeks and months, they've been very excited about the prospect of Alonso as a really exciting coach, but also a former player. That ticks a lot of boxes for Liverpool, so that's off the table now. So whatever you go for now, you're not going to get the Liverpool connection, are you? You're not going to get a former player, unless you're going to do something stupid like Gerrard. What I want to see from the likes of, Danny Murphy and Carragher and all these gobby Liverpool pundits who've been telling us what a good manager Southgate would be for Manchester United. Well, surely Gareth Southgate now becomes a big prospect, Jamie and Danny. Look, hopefully you're going to be gobbing off about Southgate to Liverpool now because, if he's suitable for Man United, why would he not be suitable for you? Of course, I'm taking the piss, just like they were, trying to link him to United. Southgate shouldn't be anywhere near Liverpool. I wouldn't even give him a job at Tranmere Rovers, so forget that. Where do they go next? I think there's two big options now, unless they're going to pull off a major surprise. And look, I forget the name. I'm not a Liverpool fan. What about the coach, the assistant coach who's looking for a manager job? Would that not be worth having a look at? I don't know whether he's taken another job yet. Is that not an avenue you might go down? Can he demand the respect? What would concern me, and look, we mentioned it last night, the new podcast came out for the weekend. There's a big section in there about De Zerbi and Liverpool. You can check that out by scanning the QR code and listening to the podcast if you're out and about today. There's a section in there about De Zerbi where I was saying, I don't want him at Man United. I don't think Newcastle should go for him. And I don't think Chelsea should go for him. And it's all in the podcast, but basically 20 million is what it's going to cost to get him out of Brighton. And look, really good first season. The second season's been horrific. The way they've had their arse handed on a plate by Fulham, Roma and Luton worries me about De Zerbi. I don't think he justifies a Liverpool job. I don't think he justifies a Man United job. I think he's a manager where you go, let's see what he can do after another year at Brighton. So I think he's a massive risk if Liverpool are looking at that. And look, it could work out. I'm not saying he's a bad manager. I think at the start of the season, I was saying, he's going to be the next big thing. But you've got to look at the evidence. And the last few weeks and months, yeah, he's had a few injuries, but he's also got a good squad. And a lot of teams have had a lot of injuries, and Brighton have just been really hit and miss. You know, the Europa League, I expected them to focus on that and go deep, and they got absolutely slaughtered. I actually thought that their league form was because they were focusing on the Europa League. Well, the Europa League, they got absolutely pounded. So I'd just be like, I'm not sure about that. And also, De Zerbi works under a transfer system at Brighton where he doesn't have a lot of say in it either. So huge step up, huge risk. The Sporting Lisbon coach is interesting. Look, he's very interesting. There's no doubt about that. He's the hipster choice with a lot of people when people are looking for a manager. You know, I think he got linked to the Spurs job. He's certainly been linked with the Man United job. He'd be an interesting one. And there's nothing wrong with doing that. There's nothing wrong with doing that, because ultimately, where did Liverpool go? Where do they go? In the comments, I think it was just so nailed on to be Alonso, probably too nailed on, that people didn't actually take into account that he might stay at Leverkusen for another year. And on Alonso, I actually think it's probably better for him to stay at Leverkusen for another year, because he's still starting out, isn't he? So yeah, it's interesting, and I think there is a vulnerability to Liverpool. Not right now. You know, they look like they could win more trophies this season, but Klopp's going to go, and the harsh reality will hit that when Klopp goes, Liverpool will lose that aura. Of course they will. It's how they replace that aura and how they maintain some momentum. I mean, sat here, right now, I'd be very surprised if Liverpool were in a title race next year, because it just feels like this Klopp thing is not going to be a smooth transition. And I maybe thought with Alonso it might be. He would still be a risk, but I just felt that maybe there would be a transition there. I'm now looking at it and I'm going, this is looking more and more like that Liverpool don't really know what they want to do at the moment. It's looking more and more like Klopp's not going to be the first major change. It looks like a few key players could go as well. The manager is going to need time. I don't think he's going to necessarily hit the ground running. I mean, you can do. Ten Hag's first season was quite good. Ange's first season's been quite good. Emery hit the ground running at Villa, but this is Liverpool. It feels like it's going to be a whole new identity there. So yeah, massive decision. And I think with the Alonso deal falling through, it's probably the takeaway, I would say, with this Alonso deal falling through, it highlights again in a much more sharper focus the departure of Klopp. I mean, it's a big departure, but I think with this Alonso story, it makes it an even bigger departure, because now there's not an obvious candidate for the job, and you're sort of going, I mean, I don't think De Zerbi's the right choice. I really don't. He might do well, but I think it's a major risk. But then again, it's not any manager that they're going to end up being a major risk. Get your comments in below. Smash a like on the video and subscribe. Don't forget as well, big weekend of football coming up. Good Friday today. But tomorrow, we've got the 3 p.m. games. Watch along. We'll be live for that. 8 o'clock tomorrow night, Man United against Brentford. I'll be on the United stand. And then Super Sunday, Liverpool-Brighton, and the big one, Man City against Arsenal. Both on That's Football. So a busy weekend. Make sure you subscribe, get your notifications on, click the bell, and please do listen to the podcast. Ultras, you're an ultra if you listen to the podcast. Give it a listen right now. Scan that QR code, give it a listen. Looking forward to the weekend, looking at the Man City-Arsenal game, but a big bit on De Zerbi and Liverpool as well. Take care.